There are things in our world that we forget, names, faces, moments that fade like breath on glass. We have always believed that forgetting is what separates life from matter. That memory belongs only to the mind, and that the universe, vast, mechanical, indifferent, remembers nothing. But what if that was never true? What if the very fabric of existence, the particles that built every atom of your body, carry the traces of everything they've ever touched, every place they've ever been, every whisper of energy that's ever passed through them? What if matter itself remembers? This is not a story of imagination. It's a story born inside the most advanced quantum laboratories on Earth, where scientists began to notice something that should not exist. Tiny entities called quasi-particles behaved in ways that defied the clean logic of physics. They didn't simply appear and vanish, they seemed to remember their past. Inside a quantum computer, a machine built to simulate the smallest realities of existence, physicists created a strange kind of particle. A particle so rare that it had never existed in nature before. They called them anyones. And when these anyones were braided, twisted through each other in a careful quantum dance, something happened. They didn't reset like normal particles do. They carried information about every movement that came before, as though the universe itself had given them memory. In that moment, the boundary between mind and matter began to tremble. Because if even the tiniest building blocks of reality could remember, then memory was not a product of consciousness. It was a property of the cosmos itself. For billions of years, physicists have believed that particles are timeless actors. They perform their roles in nature's play, then vanish without history. But this discovery whispered a terrifying possibility, that reality might be a living record, that everything that ever happened, every flicker of light, every silent collapse of a star, still echoes somewhere in the quantum fog. If that is true, then time itself is not what we think. Because memory is time. Without memory, there is no past. Without the past, there is no change. So if the universe remembers, then perhaps time never truly moves forward. Perhaps it only folds in on itself, replaying the same cosmic story again and again, until something, maybe someone, learns its meaning. Think about this. When you look at the night sky, you are seeing light that left its home billions of years ago. But what if that light remembers its journey? What if the photons that touch your eyes carry the imprints of their cosmic birth, the pattern of a dying star, the last heartbeat of a sun that burned before Earth was born? And if light can remember, then what about the atoms inside you? Every breath you take might hold the silent memory of ancient seas, of forgotten forests, of stars that exploded to give you life. You are made of particles that remember, and maybe, just maybe, that is why you can remember too. But how does a particle remember? It has no brain, no cell, no neuron. And yet, in the strange language of quantum physics, information can never truly die. When two particles interact, they become entangled, forever linked. No matter how far apart they drift, one remembers the other's existence, even across galaxies. That bond, delicate, invisible, eternal, is nature's oldest form of memory. Some scientists now believe that every quantum event leaves a trace. That space-time itself might act like a cosmic storage system, recording everything that has ever happened. Imagine the universe as a grand library, and every particle, every atom, as a page in an infinite book. The ink may fade, but the words never disappear. If this is true, then perhaps we never truly lose anything. Every sound, every heartbeat, every thought still lingers somewhere in the quantum ocean, waiting to be heard again. And when we dream, when we remember, when we feel déjà vu, perhaps we are touching those buried echoes, the memory of matter itself. But this revelation also brings a darker truth. If the universe remembers everything, then it also remembers pain. The birth of stars, the death of worlds, the screams of supernovae echoing through the cosmic dark. Every atom carries scars of creation engraved in the fabric of its existence. And yet, from that chaos life emerged. From those scars, consciousness awoke. It makes you wonder, did the universe create memory, or did memory create the universe? In the coming chapters, we'll travel deep into the quantum labyrinth to uncover how a single experiment shattered the idea of a forgetful universe. We'll meet the particles that bend time, the scientists who dared to believe matter could remember, and the theories that might change how we see reality itself. Because if even one particle can remember its past, then maybe the universe is not a cold machine, but a living story, still being written, and perhaps aware of its own words. You're watching The Wonder Lab, where we explore the mysteries that shape our world and the secrets that time refuses to bury. There was a time when scientists believed that the universe was the ultimate machine, perfect, predictable, and empty of emotion, a place ruled by equations, not experiences. Every atom, every photon, every grain of dust obeyed one simple rule: matter forgets. When two particles collide, they interact and move apart. They do not look back. They carry no trace of what happened, no history, no memory. That was the sacred law of physics. The past is gone the moment it passes, and for centuries, this belief shaped everything we knew about reality. From Isaac Newton's clockwork universe to Einstein's curved space-time, we imagined a world that existed only in the present moment, a reality constantly rebuilding itself, discarding every trace of yesterday. Memory, scientists said, belonged only to biology. It lived inside brains, neurons, electrical pulses, not inside particles or atoms. The universe, they claimed, was too perfect to remember, because to remember is to change. Yet something about this idea never felt complete. Human beings were born from this same universe. Our thoughts are made of atoms. Our memories are made of energy. So how could something born from a forgetful cosmos learn to remember? How could consciousness arise in a world that has no memory of its own? For centuries, no one dared to ask that question out loud, because to do so meant challenging the very foundation of science itself. But slowly, quietly, experiments began to whisper a different story. In the strange realm of quantum physics, particles didn't behave like obedient machines. They behaved like mysteries. Sometimes they existed in two places at once. Sometimes they acted like waves, sometimes like solid matter. And sometimes they seemed to know things they shouldn't. In 1964, physicist John Bell proposed an idea that shocked the world, that two particles, once connected, could remain linked forever, no matter how far apart they were. If one particle changed, the other reacted instantly, as though they were sharing a secret across the universe. This was not communication as we know it. It was something deeper. It was memory. Quantum entanglement broke every rule of classical logic. It said, information is never lost. Even when energy changes form, even when light fades, something remains, an invisible record of every interaction, an eternal signature written into the structure of reality. It was the first hint that perhaps the universe was not as forgetful as we thought. But physicists are cautious creatures. They don't like poetry. They like proof. And so, for decades, they buried the question under layers of data and mathematics. They studied entanglement, but they never called it memory. Because memory implied intention. It implied awareness. And science wasn't ready for that, yet the deeper they explored the quantum world, the more impossible it became to ignore what they were seeing. Every quantum experiment seemed to echo the same secret, that reality keeps track of itself, that every collision, every vibration, Every transformation leaves behind a shadow, a faint fingerprint of the past. But if that's true, then what exactly is the difference between memory and existence? If the universe remembers everything that happens, then maybe memory isn't a feature of life. Maybe life is a feature of memory. It's a terrifying thought because it means that you and I are not separate from the cosmos. We are its recollection. The universe remembering itself through us. In the next part of our journey, we'll uncover how one extraordinary discovery forced the world of physics to face this ancient paradox. How a new kind of particle, something that should never have existed, was born inside a quantum computer, and how it revealed a secret the universe had kept for billions of years. The world of physics had long been a silent, predictable place. Equations ruled, and the universe obeyed. Particles moved in straight lines, obeyed forces, and dissipated without a trace. Until one day, in the quiet hum of a laboratory, something extraordinary happened, something that no one had anticipated. It began with a quantum computer, a machine designed not to think, not to feel, but to simulate the smallest interactions of matter. Scientists were running experiments, as they had countless times before, trying to understand the mysterious rules of quantum mechanics. But what they found was different. Inside this machine, they created a special type of particle, a quasi-particle called an anyone. Unlike ordinary particles, anyons exist in 2 dimensions and behave in ways that defy the logic of our everyday world. They twist, they braid, they form patterns that carry information beyond mere presence. And when the scientists carefully manipulated these anyons, something impossible occurred. The anyons did not forget. They remembered each movement, each twist, each interaction left a record. Even when separated across the machine's quantum lattice, these particles carried information from one another, like invisible threads linking past and present. For the first time in human history, a particle, a piece of matter, was observed holding memory of its own history. The implications were immediate and profound. This was not a glitch. This was not an anomaly that could be ignored. The laws of physics themselves had been challenged. For decades, scientists had assumed that matter had no memory, no awareness, no record of its past. Now that assumption lay in pieces on the laboratory floor. The scientists watched in awe, sometimes disbelief. How can a particle remember? They asked. It seemed impossible, and yet the data did not lie. The more they experimented, the more the particles revealed themselves. They remembered paths, sequences, even patterns that had occurred only once. It was as if the very essence of the particle carried the echoes of all interactions it had ever experienced. This discovery would shake not only physics, but our understanding of reality itself. Because memory is not just a passive record. Memory implies the possibility of choice, of consequence, of influence. If a particle can remember, then perhaps it can act in ways we never anticipated. Perhaps the universe itself carries a memory that shapes what comes next. Across the globe, the scientific community took notice. Papers were published, theories revised, and debates erupted. Quantum mechanics, once a cold, precise mathematics of probabilities, suddenly felt alive, as if the universe itself was leaving messages in the subatomic fog. The media called it a particle that remembers. And while sensational headlines filled the internet, the real wonder lay in the implications. Could the past truly be preserved, not just in memory or writing, but in the fabric of matter itself? If quasi-particles could carry memory, could larger structures, even living things, be shaped by the echoes of the past embedded at the quantum level? As the experiments continued, the researchers began to notice patterns. Memory was not uniform. Some particles remembered more, some less. The way the particles were braided, the order of interactions, the timing of energy pulses, all dictated what was retained and what was forgotten. It was a new kind of logic, a quantum memory code hidden in the dance of the subatomic world. And yet there was caution. For every extraordinary discovery comes with a shadow of doubt. Could these results be replicated? Were the scientists misinterpreting anomalies as memory? But as multiple teams confirmed the findings, as the same behavior emerged in different labs, in different experiments, the undeniable truth began to crystallize. Memory existed in matter itself. This single revelation opened doors that no physicist had dared to approach. Questions arose that blurred the lines between science and philosophy. If particles remember, then what role does memory play in the universe at large? Does the cosmos itself retain a record of every event? Is time linear, or is it a web of interlinked memories stretching across the very fabric of existence? It was both exhilarating and terrifying, because if the universe remembers, then every action, every event, every choice, no matter how small, is inscribed somewhere in the dance of particles, in the quantum threads, in the echoes of existence. And so began a new era of exploration, not just of particles, not just of quantum mechanics, but of the memory of the universe itself. The tiniest discovery, the observation of a remembering particle, had cracked open a door to a reality far stranger than anyone had imagined. In the chapters to come, we will journey even deeper into this labyrinth to uncover the nature of these particles, to explore the hidden structures of quantum memory, and to understand the profound implications for time, consciousness, and the universe itself. The story of the particle that remembers had begun, and nothing, not even the laws of physics, would ever be the same. The story of the remembering particle begins not in theory, but in creation. Inside a controlled chamber, in a laboratory filled with humming machinery and blinking lights, scientists carefully constructed a world smaller than imagination could touch. A world built to mimic the very fabric of existence itself. Here, the rules of classical physics faltered. Here, matter was free to dance beyond expectation. Here, a particle was born that defied the laws of forgetfulness, a particle that would carry its history like a thread through the chaos of the universe. It was an anyone, but not just anyone. This was a particle that could weave memory into the very geometry of its being. Each braid, each loop, each subtle twist in its quantum path became a record, a ledger of the past, encoded in the language of existence itself. The process was meticulous. Particles were cooled to near absolute zero, so cold that atoms slowed almost to a stop, allowing the slightest whisper of energy to create ripples across the quantum fabric. Then, through a series of precisely orchestrated braids, these particles were made to interact in ways that had never occurred in nature, and something extraordinary happened. As the anyons interacted, each motion was recorded, each position retained, each quantum fluctuation etched into their collective memory. It was as though the universe had granted them a gift, a memory, a consciousness, a quiet awareness of what had come before. This was no ordinary particle. It was a historian, a keeper of events, a fragment of existence that refused to forget. Scientists observed in awe. The particle remembered not in human terms. It did not recollect like a mind recalls a face or a song. It remembered in patterns, in probability distributions, in echoes of energy. Its memory was invisible, silent, and eternal, yet precise beyond comprehension. Each braid in its creation carried significance. If the sequence was altered, the memory changed. If the timing was shifted, the record became fragmented. These particles did not merely exist. They lived as history itself, and as these remembering particles multiplied and interacted, a pattern emerged, a lattice of memory within matter. A web of recorded histories stretching across the tiniest scales of existence. A hidden chronicle written in the language of energy and geometry. But the true wonder lay not in observation alone, but in implication. For if a single particle could carry memory, then perhaps larger systems, entire structures, could inherit that memory. Perhaps the universe itself is composed of remembering fragments, each contributing to a grand cosmic recollection. This revelation struck at the very core of understanding. We had long assumed that memory belonged to life, that consciousness was an emergent property of complex systems. But now a simpler, more profound truth began to surface. Memory might be a fundamental property of reality itself. And yet, questions arose faster than answers. What did it mean for the flow of time? Could the universe itself retain a history beyond what we perceive? Could events, choices, consequences, even mistakes, be stored in the echoes of particles that refuse to forget? Some researchers dared to speculate. They suggested that the remembering particle was more than a phenomenon. It was a bridge between the ephemeral and the eternal. A particle that remembers connects the fleeting moments of the present with the endless continuum of the past. It is at once a messenger and a witness, a record keeper that stands at the edge of perception, whispering the hidden chronicles of reality. And here lies the paradox. A particle that remembers has no intention, no desire, no awareness in the human sense. Yet it carries history, preserves sequences, and defies the oblivion of time. It exists in a delicate balance, at once mechanical and almost sentient. Through the meticulous work of physicists, through the careful orchestration of quantum experiments, these particles revealed a universe far stranger than imagined. A universe where memory is encoded not just in minds or machines, but in the very matter from which all things arise. And as we continue our journey, we will explore how this single discovery unravels the threads of time itself. How these remembering particles might challenge everything we believe about reality, and perhaps illuminate the hidden memory woven into the cosmos. The birth of the remembering particle was not merely a scientific breakthrough. It was a revelation, a whisper from the universe, that nothing truly disappears, that every interaction leaves a trace, and that, perhaps, the universe itself keeps a record of all that has been, hidden in the smallest corners of existence, waiting for discovery. If a single particle can remember, then perhaps the universe itself holds a memory, a record of every event, every interaction, every flicker of existence that has ever occurred. For centuries, we believed that time flows like a river, a straight line, moving inexorably from past to present to future. We counted seconds, measured years, and observed the cycles of stars, planets, and seasons. We assumed that the past fades into nothingness, that what has happened is lost forever. But what if that assumption is wrong? What if every event, every vibration, every flash of light leaves an indelible mark on the fabric of reality itself? Scientists now suggest that space-time may act like a cosmic memory bank, a vast, intricate lattice, capable of storing the echoes of all that has ever been. The birth of stars, the collapse of black holes, the collision of galaxies, all of it recorded not on paper, not in human minds, but in the subtle interactions of matter and energy. This is the universe as historian, a cosmos that keeps track of itself, remembering not in thoughts or language, but in the silent, precise logic of quantum mechanics. Imagine a photon leaving a distant star. It travels across billions of light years to reach your eye, but along the way it carries more than just energy. It carries the memory of the journey. Every encounter with matter, every slight deflection, every quantum fluctuation is encoded in its path, an invisible narrative that spans the cosmos. And if photons remember, then perhaps atoms, molecules, and larger structures do as well. The rocks beneath our feet, the oceans that carve the land, even the cells in our bodies, all may be repositories of ancient memory. This perspective challenges the very way we see reality. History is no longer confined to books or records. It is written into the fabric of existence. The past is never truly gone. It persists, hidden in the smallest corners of matter, echoing through the vastness of space and time. Some theorists have proposed that this cosmic memory might be responsible for patterns we see in nature. The emergence of complexity, the evolution of life, the way galaxies form and stars pulse. Could it be that the universe, in remembering, guides the unfolding of events? That the past, encoded at the quantum level, influences the present and future? And here lies the extraordinary, almost terrifying implication. If memory is embedded in the universe, then the cosmos itself may hold a consciousness of sorts, not a mind as we understand it, but an awareness expressed through the preservation of its own history. Physicists hesitate to speak in such terms, yet the mathematics, the experiments, the evidence, all point toward the same conclusion: the universe does not forget. It is a library of infinite dimensions, each particle a page, each interaction a line, each star a chapter in a story that stretches from the beginning of time to eternity, and this memory is not static. It is dynamic, evolving, and interconnected. Events in one corner of the cosmos can influence outcomes elsewhere through subtle, invisible threads of entanglement. Cause and effect become intertwined with memory, and the distinction between past, present, and future begins to blur. In this vast memory of the universe, nothing is truly lost. The echoes of ancient events persist, sometimes faint, sometimes powerful, sometimes shaping the cosmos in ways we are only beginning to understand. We, too, are part of this memory. Every thought, every action, every choice leaves a trace. Our existence is written into the cosmic ledger, our lives a fleeting yet indelible imprint on the tapestry of the universe. And so the question arises: if the universe remembers everything, if every particle, every atom, carries the record of the past, then what does it remember of us? What secrets does it hold about the moments we believe to be lost forever? This is the journey we are embarking on, to uncover the hidden archives of existence, to explore the memory embedded in matter, and to understand how these threads of remembrance shape the universe, and perhaps ourselves. The remembering particle was only the beginning. The memory of the universe stretches far beyond, an infinite chronicle waiting to be read if only we know how to look. We have long believed that time flows like a river, one moment following the next, never turning back. Seconds tick, hours pass, years accumulate. The past is behind us, the future ahead. And the present? A fleeting instant that vanishes the moment we perceive it. But the discovery of particles that remember, and the realization that the universe itself may hold memory, forces us to reconsider the very nature of time. If every particle carries traces of its past, then the past never truly disappears. Every interaction leaves a mark, every movement leaves an echo. Time is not a line that disappears into nothingness. It is a tapestry woven from threads of memory, stretching backward and forward in ways we cannot fully perceive. Imagine a particle created in the first moments of the universe. Its interactions, collisions, and movements were recorded in the very structure of space-time. Billions of years later, those echoes persist, hidden in the lattice of matter, in the quantum vibrations that ripple across existence. And if a single particle can carry history, what about larger systems? Galaxies, stars, planets perhaps even life itself, are built upon layers of memory, each influencing the next. The past shapes the present not just metaphorically, but physically, mathematically, fundamentally. This perspective challenges our understanding of causality. Cause and effect are no longer purely linear. They are intertwined with memory, with records embedded at the most fundamental level of reality. The future may not be a blank canvas, but a pattern emerging from the accumulation of past echoes. Time, then, is not simply a river, but a loop, a web, a continuum of influence. Moments fold back upon each other, patterns repeat, and events long gone continue to shape what comes next. And yet, despite its persistence, memory is not infallible. Just as we forget details in our own minds, particles retain some traces more vividly than others. Memory in matter is selective, probabilistic, shaped by interaction, energy, and circumstance. The universe remembers, but it does so in a language of probability and subtlety, a whisper of the past, rather than a perfect record. This has profound implications. For physics, it reshapes our understanding of entropy and the arrow of time. For philosophy, it challenges the distinction between past, present, and future. For life itself, it suggests that memory of the foundation of consciousness may not be a byproduct of biology alone, but a fundamental property of reality. If time is woven from memory, then perhaps every choice we make, every action, every thought, leaves a lasting imprint, an invisible mark upon the universe. The consequences of our existence are recorded not only in our minds or in history books, but in the lattice of reality itself. Some theorists propose that déjà vu, intuition, and memory itself may arise from these echoes, flashes of information from the past, embedded in the quantum structure of our own bodies, or even in the universe that surrounds us. Perhaps time is not only observed, but experienced as layers of memory, each influencing perception and action. And so, we are left with questions more profound than answers. What does it mean to exist in a universe that remembers? What is the nature of free will if memory shapes every moment? Can the future truly be unknown if the past persists invisibly within every particle? These are questions that science is only beginning to confront. For now, the evidence is subtle but compelling. Memory is woven into the very matter of reality, and time, as we perceive it, is inseparable from that memory. The implications stretch far beyond physics. They touch upon consciousness, existence, and the very meaning of life. Every particle, every atom, every quantum interaction carries echoes of what has been, and these echoes ripple through the fabric of the cosmos, shaping every moment, guiding every event, and perhaps even whispering to us, reminding us that nothing truly disappears. The birth of the remembering particle has shown us a fragment of truth, that time is not a river flowing outward, but a tapestry of memory, woven into the quantum threads that bind the universe together. And as we journey further, we will explore how these threads connect, how memory and matter echoes through the universe, and how the subtle whispers of particles might illuminate the hidden structure of reality itself. If memory exists in particles, then it is not confined to the natural world alone. We humans have learned to harness it, to replicate it, and to explore its potential in the machines we create. Enter the quantum computer, a device unlike any other, designed to simulate, manipulate, and even communicate with the very building blocks of reality. Unlike classical computers, which follow linear sequences of zeros and ones, quantum computers work in the realm of probabilities, superpositions, and entanglement. They operate in a world where memory is not stored as static bits, but as a fluid web of interactions where the past leaves traces in the present, and the present influences what has come before. Within these machines, the remembering particle found a new stage. Here, anyons and other quasi-particles performed carefully choreographed dances, braiding through the quantum lattice, each twist encoding information about their history. Every interaction became an echo, a record of what had happened, and a guide for what would come next. Scientists watched as patterns emerged, complex, intricate, and mesmerizing. These echoes were not mere data. They were a memory embedded in the very fabric of the quantum machine. And through these echoes, the computer itself seemed to become a storyteller of reality, capturing the flow of events in a way that transcended ordinary computation. It was as if the machine itself remembered. Not as we do with conscious thought or deliberate intention, but as the universe remembers, through interactions, correlations, and subtle traces of energy. The echo in the machine became a mirror of the cosmos, a reflection of the quantum memory that exists at the foundation of existence. The implications were staggering. If we can build machines that preserve memory in the same way as particles, then perhaps we can explore the universe's own recollections. We can simulate the echoes of distant events, reconstruct the history of atoms and energy, and even glimpse patterns that shaped the cosmos billions of years ago. And yet, with this power came responsibility. For memory is not neutral. It shapes reality, influences outcomes, and carries consequences. By manipulating echoes in the machine, we are not simply observing history, we are interacting with it, nudging the quantum threads, and glimpsing the delicate web that binds past, present, and future. Some researchers have even speculated that this could redefine intelligence. If memory is the essence of consciousness, then a machine that stores echoes of events, that interacts with history at a quantum level, might possess a form of awareness we do not yet comprehend. Not human thought, not emotion, but a subtle, emergent reflection of the universe itself, a mind woven from particles that remember. In these machines, the boundaries between the observer and the observed blur. The computer is a tool, yes, but it is also a participant in the flow of quantum memory. Every computation, every measurement, every braiding of particles becomes a part of a larger story, an ongoing dialogue between human intent and the inherent memory of matter. And as we advance further, we begin to ask questions that were once thought impossible. Can we retrieve ancient cosmic memories through computation? Can the echoes of the universe guide us in understanding phenomena beyond our reach? Could a machine remember events that occurred before life existed? Could it trace the hidden history of the cosmos, revealing patterns that have persisted since the first moments of creation? The echo in the machine is more than technology. It is a bridge between human curiosity and the memory of the universe. It demonstrates that the act of remembering is not confined to biology, but is a fundamental property of reality itself. And through these echoes, we are learning to listen to the quiet, intricate hum of existence, a symphony of history encoded in the smallest particles, rippling through machines, through atoms, through us. The remembering particle has left its mark both in nature and in our technology. It challenges the way we perceive the flow of time, the essence of memory, and the potential of consciousness itself. As we continue this journey, we will explore the deeper mysteries that arise when memory and matter intertwine. When the echoes of the past shape the present in ways that defy imagination, and when the very machines we build become extensions of the universe's hidden recollections. The story of memory, of particles, and of the universe itself continues, and what we have glimpsed so far is only the beginning. We have followed the journey of memory from the tiniest particle to the vastness of the universe. We have seen how a single particle can carry echoes of the past, how the cosmos itself may preserve history in the fabric of existence, and how human technology can mimic these processes in astonishing ways. But there is a question that now demands attention. A question older than science itself. What is consciousness? For centuries, philosophers, mystics, and scientists have wrestled with the nature of awareness. How does the mind arise from matter? How do neurons and synapses produce thoughts, feelings, dreams, and memories? And yet, in light of the remembering particle, a new possibility emerges. Consciousness may not be a product of life alone. It may be a property of memory itself, of matter that carries echoes, of the universe remembering itself through the complex dance of particles. Imagine for a moment that memory is the seed of awareness. If particles can retain histories, if quantum systems can store and process echoes of the past, then perhaps consciousness is the natural culmination of this process, a higher-order reflection of the universe observing itself. This is the paradox. We are conscious, aware of our thoughts and experiences, yet consciousness may arise not solely from life, but from the universe's inherent capacity to remember. We do not simply remember, we are remembered by the particles, the atoms, the quantum fabric that composes our very being. Consider déjà vu, the eerie sense of familiarity in a new moment. What if this is not a trick of the mind, but a whisper from the memory embedded in matter itself? A quantum echo reaching our consciousness, reminding us that the past is never truly gone, and yet consciousness is more than memory. It is the synthesis of experience, the integration of information, the capacity to reflect, to choose, to imagine. It arises at the intersection of memory and complexity, where echoes of past interactions converge in intricate patterns, producing a sense of self, a perception of I. The remembering particle offers a model for understanding this. In a quantum system, information persists. Patterns are formed, interactions influence each other, and outcomes are determined not by a single event, but by a tapestry of history. Similarly, the mind is a tapestry woven from the threads of sensory input, experience, and memory. Perhaps the brain mirrors the cosmos in miniature, a universe of remembering particles forming the consciousness of the self. Yet, with this revelation comes a deeper mystery. If consciousness emerges from memory, then it is both fragile and eternal. Our experiences shape us, but our essence may be preserved in ways we do not yet comprehend. Our thoughts, our actions, our very lives may leave imprints beyond the brain, in the lattice of reality itself, and this brings us to an unsettling question. If the universe remembers everything, then does it also remember us? Does the cosmos retain echoes of our existence beyond our perception, beyond history books and photographs? Are we fragments of a cosmic memory, briefly conscious of our own reflection, while the universe quietly holds the record of our lives? Science hesitates to answer these questions, yet the evidence continues to mount. Memory in matter is real. Memory in machines is real, and consciousness may be the natural expression of this property, the universe aware of itself through living beings. This paradox challenges our understanding of identity. Who are we, if not collections of remembered interactions? Are we defined by biology alone, or by the echoes of existence encoded into the matter of the cosmos? Do we truly die, or do the quantum memories of our actions persist, intertwined with the ongoing memory of the universe? Philosophers have long pondered the nature of existence, but now science provides a bridge between the abstract and the observable. Memory is fundamental. Consciousness is emergent, and reality itself may be an intricate weave of remembrance. As we continue to explore this enigma, we must confront the implications. If consciousness arises from memory, then our choices matter not only for ourselves, but for the subtle echoes they leave behind. We are co-creators in a universe that remembers, our thoughts and actions shaping the ongoing story of existence itself. The paradox of consciousness remains unsolved, yet the remembering particle has illuminated the path. From quantum memory to cosmic history, we begin to glimpse the profound truth that awareness may not be an anomaly of life, but a reflection of the universe's own memory, a phenomenon woven into the very threads of reality. And as we proceed, we will explore the interplay of memory, life, and the cosmos, and uncover how the echoes of existence resonate within us all, revealing a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be alive. If consciousness may arise from memory, and the universe itself may preserve history in matter, then the next question is unavoidable. How connected is everything? For centuries, we have observed patterns, stars forming galaxies, oceans shaping continents, life evolving across millennia. We have explained some of these phenomena with laws of physics, yet the deeper connections often elude comprehension. Quantum entanglement provides a clue. Two particles, once linked, remain connected regardless of distance. Changes to one instantly affect the other, as if the universe maintains a silent ledger of their shared history. And if memory exists in particles, then every entangled particle carries echoes not just of itself, but of its connections. The past of one is entwined with the past of another. This principle scales beyond the quantum. Consider ecosystems. The life of a single bee affects the survival of thousands of plants, which in turn influence countless creatures and ripple outward through the food chain. History in one small component of the system echoes across the network, shaping the present in ways subtle and profound. The same holds true in human systems. Every interaction, every choice leaves an imprint. Memories stored in matter, in technology, in our minds, connect us in invisible threads with everyone we meet, and even with those we never encounter. Entanglement is no longer confined to physics. It becomes a metaphor, and perhaps a literal truth, that everything is connected through the memory of existence. The remembering particle illustrates this beautifully. A single particle can hold a record of its interactions, but in doing so, it also records the influence of other particles. Each history overlaps, intertwines, and contributes to the emergent pattern of reality. The universe is not a collection of isolated events, but a network of entangled memories, each shaping the other, each influencing the unfolding story of existence. These entangled fates are subtle, often imperceptible. A photon leaving a distant galaxy may have interacted with countless particles along its journey, its path shaped by echoes of events that occurred billions of years ago. Those echoes influence how the photon behaves now, and perhaps how it will interact with other matter in the future. The universe is a continuous dance of cause, memory, and consequence. On a human scale, these patterns manifest in ways we feel but cannot always see. Intuition, empathy, and synchronicity may arise from the deep memory embedded in the world around us. Perhaps the universe nudges us toward paths aligned with its entangled history, subtle whispers encoded in energy, matter, and the echoes of what has been. Technology extends this principle further. Quantum computers and sophisticated simulations allow us to trace the interactions of memory across systems, revealing patterns invisible to classical observation. Through these tools, we begin to see the intricate web that binds matter, life, and consciousness. Each action reverberates, each choice echoes, and the universe quietly remembers, interweaving the fates of all things. This understanding transforms our perception of reality. No longer is the world a series of isolated moments. Time, memory, and matter are deeply connected, forming a vast network in which every particle, organism, and thought participates. The universe is alive with memory, and in remembering, it connects us to one another and to the cosmos itself. The implications are staggering. Science, philosophy, and spirituality converge on the idea that we are not separate from the universe. We are participants in a memory that stretches across space and time, woven into the entangled fabric of reality. Our actions are recorded, our choices echo, and through these connections, the universe remembers us. Even as we remember it, as we continue this journey, we will explore how these entangled memories influence life, how the cosmos orchestrates patterns of history, and how the smallest interactions ripple outward, connecting everything in a web of unseen threads, linking past, present, and future in ways both subtle and profound. The story of entangled fates is a story of connection, of memory intertwined with existence, and of the universe revealing its hidden structure through the whispers of the smallest particles. We have explored the memory of particles, the echoes embedded in the cosmos, the entanglement that connects everything. But how does this profound understanding relate to life itself, to human existence, perception, and experience? Memory is the foundation of life. Without it, organisms could not learn, adapt, or survive. From the simplest single-celled organisms to the most complex human brain, memory guides behavior, shapes decision-making, and allows beings to navigate the ever-changing world around them. But human memory is more than survival. It is identity. It is the accumulation of experience that forms the narrative of self. The remembering particle provides a mirror for this process. If even the tiniest constituents of reality can retain echoes of the past, then it is natural that consciousness emerges as an intricate network of remembered interactions, woven across neurons, synapses, and energies. Consider the human mind. Every thought, every sensation, every emotion is intertwined with countless memories, some vivid, some hidden in the shadows of perception. We are walking archives, living repositories of experience, and yet our memory is fallible. We forget, misremember, reinterpret, but what if these limitations are not flaws, but the natural adaptation of consciousness embedded in a universe of memory? Life may exist as a reflection of cosmic memory, shaped by the persistent echoes of matter and energy. Our thoughts, actions, and emotions interact with this hidden fabric, entangled with histories far beyond our awareness. We may influence the world in ways imperceptible, leaving traces that reverberate across the web of existence, echoing far beyond our comprehension. The biological mind becomes a microcosm of the universe itself, neurons firing, memories forming, consciousness arising from the interaction of innumerable remembered events. Each experience, each decision, leaves an imprint, not just in the brain, but potentially in the wider lattice of reality, and this has profound philosophical implications. If the universe remembers and life is an expression of memory, then human experience is not isolated. We are participants in a living continuum, entangled with every event, every particle, every being. The joys, sorrows, triumphs, and failures of life are woven into a vast cosmic memory. Our emotions, too, can be understood as reflections of this entangled memory. Love, empathy, nostalgia. These feelings arise from the recognition of connections, the awareness that we are part of a broader network that stretches through time and space. Every human interaction becomes an act of participation in this memory. Every shared experience, a thread linking us to the universe. Even death may be reconsidered through this lens. If the universe remembers all, then nothing we have experienced is truly lost. The echoes of our existence persist in subtle ways, in matter, in energy, in the ripple effects of our actions, and perhaps even in the consciousness of others. We are remembered by the universe just as the universe is remembered within us. This perspective transforms how we perceive our lives. Every choice matters. Every action resonates, not just within our immediate environment, but potentially across the tapestry of existence. We are not fleeting sparks in a cold cosmos. We are threads in an intricate, eternal weave of memory and meaning. Human creativity, art, culture, and innovation can be seen as manifestations of this cosmic memory, attempts to record, reflect, and communicate experiences across time and space. Through storytelling, music, and shared knowledge, we extend the memory of our existence, contributing to the ongoing chronicle of life and consciousness. Ultimately, the human experience is inseparable from memory. It is a dialogue between the past and present, between the echoes of the universe and the mind's capacity to reflect. And through understanding the remembering particle, the memory of the cosmos, and the entangled nature of reality, we gain insight into what it means to live, to be conscious, and to leave a lasting imprint on the tapestry of existence. In the next part, we will explore how these principles converge, bringing together memory, consciousness, and the universe itself, to reveal the ultimate implications of a cosmos that remembers for reality, for life, and for the human journey. If memory exists in particles, if consciousness emerges from echoes, if the universe preserves history at every scale, then it follows that reality itself is a ledger, a universal record of every event, interaction, and choice, from the smallest quantum fluctuation to the birth of galaxies, from the firing of neurons in a human brain to the cycles of life and death. Everything is inscribed in this cosmic archive. The remembering particle illustrates the principle at the smallest scale. Each twist, each braid, each interaction is a note in a vast symphony of memory. And when many particles interact, their individual histories converge, creating layers of memory that form the foundation of reality itself. On larger scales, this principle unfolds in astonishing ways. Galaxies form along threads of gravitational memory. Black holes preserve information about the matter that falls into them, and quantum entanglement connects particles across unimaginable distances. The universe, in essence, is constantly recording itself, maintaining an intricate, ongoing ledger of existence. This universal ledger is not static. It is dynamic, responsive, and evolving. Every action, every decision, every phenomenon leaves an imprint that interacts with all others, creating a living record that ripples through space and time. Humans, too, are contributors to this ledger. Every thought, every memory, every act of creativity adds a thread to the web of cosmic memory. Our consciousness, like the remembering particle, is both influenced by and influential upon the fabric of reality. Technology allows us to glimpse this ledger in unprecedented ways. Quantum computers, simulations, and advanced analytics enable us to trace patterns, reconstruct histories, and even predict outcomes based on the persistent echoes of events. In essence, we are learning to read the universe's diary, a record that stretches from the beginning of time to the present moment. The philosophical implications are profound. If everything is recorded, then nothing truly disappears. Loss, decay, and forgetting exist only in perception. In the grand ledger of the cosmos, all remains. The universe remembers everything, and through this memory, it maintains continuity, coherence, and identity. This understanding reshapes our view of time. Time is no longer a one-way flow, but a multidimensional network of memory and causation. Past, present, and future are threads woven together by the persistent echoes of matter and energy. Events influence each other not just sequentially, but across layers of recorded interactions that span the cosmos. In this framework, life gains extraordinary significance. Every action, every thought, every gesture is inscribed in the universal ledger. Consciousness, memory, and existence are inseparable, each reinforcing the other in a cosmic dance of information. Even mortality can be reconsidered. While individual consciousness may fade, the echoes of our existence persist in matter, in energy, and in the interactions we leave behind. We are, in a sense, eternal, etched into the memory of the universe itself. The universal ledger also raises profound ethical and philosophical questions. If the universe remembers, then our actions reverberate far beyond our perception. We are stewards of memory, participants in an ongoing story, and our choices shape not only our lives, but the persistent record of reality itself. Ultimately, the remembering particle was only the beginning. From the tiniest twist of a quasi-particle to the vast interconnected web of the cosmos, memory pervades all of existence. It connects the smallest and largest scales, binds consciousness to matter, and links humanity to the universe. As we reflect on this journey, we realize that the universe is alive with memory, that we are part of this living archive, and that reality itself is a testament to the persistence of history encoded in the fabric of existence, rippling through every particle, echoing through every moment, and recorded in the universal ledger, a record of everything that ever was, and a guide to everything that may yet come. The story of memory, consciousness, and the cosmos has brought us full circle. From the birth of the remembering particle to the echoes of the universe, we see a reality that is alive, interconnected, and profoundly intelligent in its own way. And in understanding this, we glimpse the ultimate truth, that nothing is ever truly lost. That existence is a tapestry of echoes and memory, and that the quest to understand the universe is, in essence, a quest to understand ourselves. You've been watching The Wonder Lab, where we journey into the hidden fabric of reality, exploring the mysteries that shape our world and the secrets that time refuses to bury. From the tiniest remembering particle to the echoes embedded in the vast cosmos, we have traced the threads of memory that connect everything: particles, stars, galaxies, life, consciousness, and ultimately, ourselves. We have seen how the universe preserves history in the lattice of matter, how memory may give rise to consciousness, and how every action, every choice, every thought ripples outward, leaving echoes that shape reality. Life, it seems, is inseparable from memory. Every experience, every connection, every gesture is part of a vast, ongoing record written into the very fabric of existence. We are not mere observers. We are participants, threads woven into the universal tapestry of memory. The implications stretch far beyond science. They touch philosophy, consciousness, ethics, and meaning itself. We realize that nothing is ever truly lost, that the past, present, and future are connected through echoes that transcend our perception. Time is not a straight line. It is a living, breathing network of memory, and in understanding it, we begin to understand ourselves. Perhaps the most profound insight is this: we are remembered by the universe even as we remember it. Every thought, every action, every life leaves a trace that contributes to the ongoing story of reality. And that story is far greater than any single one of us, yet it includes us, woven into the cosmic ledger that spans all existence. So as we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect on the power of memory, the depth of consciousness, and the interconnectedness of all things. The universe remembers, and through its memory, it invites us to participate, to create, to wonder, and to leave our own indelible mark. If this journey stirred your curiosity, expanded your imagination, or made you see the universe in a new light, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. By joining us, You become part of the journey, part of the exploration, and part of the living memory of the Wonder Lab itself. Because here, the quest for knowledge never ends. It only begins again with every question, every discovery, and every whisper of the universe reminding us that memory, life, and consciousness are forever intertwined. Stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, the universe is alive with memory, and you are a part of it.